Caleb's Story by Patricia MacLachlan, Chapter 8. There was school day after day after day. I rode Bess the 2 miles there and back. I carried my notebook with me in my pack, writing in it at recess and lunch, sometimes writing in it when I was supposed to be doing other work. There were 12 of us in our one-room schoolhouse, ages 6 to 15. We all helped each other. I taught Lily how to read, but sometimes the younger ones helped the older ones. Joseph was good at addition and long division. He was only 9, but he was best at figures. I depended on Cassie for news at home during the day. "What happened today?" I whispered. "Nothing. It's too quiet here, Caleb. Only Min plays with me. Stay home from school, please." "I can't do that, Cassie. Papa doesn't play games with me. He works in the barn all the time." "What about Grandfather?" "Grandfather takes walks. Sometimes he talks to Sarah. He stays in his room." "What does he do there?" "I don't know. Maybe he reads," said Cassie. "I don't think so, Cassie," I said. It was hard to escape Cassie. She wanted to play. She wanted me to read books to her. She wanted to skate in the slough with me when the snow had been cleared. But every evening I went up to Grandfather's room and shut the door. The next 2 weeks, in secret, we read nearly all of Anna's journals. So Grandfather knew about our lives without him. Grandfather learned quickly, as if he had already been doing this. "Dear Mr. Jacob Whitting," read Grandfather haltingly, slowly, "I am Sarah Wheaton from Maine." He looked at me. "That was her first letter to Jacob?" he asked. I nodded. "The answer to Papa's advertisement for a wife and mother," I said. "And then she wrote to us. See there?" I pointed and Grandfather began to read. "My favorite colors are the colors of the sea, blue and gray and green, depending on the weather." Grandfather sat back. "She came a long way." "We were excited," I said. "Sarah wrote that she was coming, and then she added something for Anna and me that made us even more excited." "What?" asked Grandfather. "What did she write?" I turned the pages of the journal. "There," I said. I couldn't help smiling. "Tell them I sing," read Grandfather. He couldn't help smiling either. "We were afraid she wouldn't stay," I said. "She loved Maine." Grandfather nodded. He closed the book that Anna had written so long ago. I could tell our lesson was over for the day. Grandfather walked to the window and looked out over the farm. "You always love what you know first," he said. "Always," he repeated softly. On Saturday there were clouds in the sky. The air felt damp and raw. I knew it would storm again. It was stormy in the house, too. Papa came in for meals, but spent most of his time working, fixing fences, shoveling out stalls, and putting down new hay, making sure the barn was strong enough for the winter winds. Grandfather took long walks. Once he helped Sarah cook a stew. Sarah loved Papa and she liked Grandfather, but I could tell she was upset with them both for not talking. Cassie talked for everyone, and it was Cassie who caused the trouble. We ate an early supper, the wind outside whining around the corners of the house, the candles on the table flickering. "When I was born," said Cassie suddenly, "Mama and Papa named me Cassie. That was my grandmother's name." Everyone was still. "Grandfather knows that, Cassie," I said softly, warningly. "Grandmother was his wife," I whispered. Papa didn't look up. He kept eating his stew. Grandfather looked at Cassie and surprised us by smiling. "Your grandmother would have liked you, Cassie," he said. "That is one thing I know." Papa stood up, his chair crashing to the floor behind him. Cassie's fork clattered to her plate. Papa's face was dark, and I don't remember seeing him so angry. "You," he said to Grandfather, "you know nothing. Nothing. You, of all people, cannot speak for my mother." "Jacob," said Sarah, "not here. Not now." "Yes, now," Papa shouted. "Why shouldn't Cassie and Caleb know what he's really like? That he left us. That he..." Tears. Sarah stood, angry as Papa's. "Not of the children, Jacob. This." Grandfather got up and walked to the door. "Sarah's right, Jacob." "Don't tell me what is right. Not you," said Papa angrily. Grandfather put out into the wind. Papa followed, slamming the door. There was silence. Sarah took care. I got up. I went to the door, and Sarah watched Ed, her face sad, but she didn't stop me. Out the door. I was in a snowy yard, tearing at my clothes. No moon. The door was half open. I could hear Papa's and Grandpa's. I crept inside. "I want to know why you're here," said Papa loud. "Did you come back?" I stalled and saw Papa. "Sometimes how things turned out. Things you never waited for you ever," shouted Papa. "Why didn't you write me out?" "He couldn't. Grandfather loved you," he cried. Papa didn't speak.